me ask you a question. Did you know the credit system was designed to keep people under 681 right where they are? Not by accident, not because the algorithm made a mistake. By design. It's not a bug, it's a feature. And here's what makes it worse. The same banks that drew that 681 line also built the maze around it. The maze that makes it feel like no matter what you do, you can't quite cross over that line. You pay on time, you keep your balances low, you do what they told you to do, and your score still sits parked at 650, at 660, even 672. Close, but not close enough. That's not a coincidence. That's a system working exactly the way it was built to work. And today I'm going to show you the escape routes. I'm going to show you how you do this. But before I get to it, I want you to do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to this great channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time I'm uploading great content like this. This is the go-to channel for this type of information. Now, let's get this credibility down so that we understand where we are and where we need to be. I've spent 37 years working inside the credit and finance world. I've sat across from hundreds of people who did everything right, checked every box, followed every rule, and still couldn't get the other side of that 681 line. And what I found out every single time was this: they weren't fixing the wrong score. They were fixing the wrong thing inside the score. There's a difference, and that difference is what this video is all about. This program is sponsored by the release of my latest book, Credit to Wealth in 30 Days. Oh, how to build financial freedom using credit, business, and investing. Listen, you've got to read this. This is a paradigm shift. And this is one you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to read it. To get your copy, check the description for this video. Be blessed. Now, in the next several minutes, I'm going to walk you through the exact escape plan. The 3 traps that keep most people stuck below 681. Then the 4 levers that actually move the needle fast. And if you're a business owner, I want you to stay with me because near the end, I've got a section just for you. None of this is theory. All of it is actionable. So let's get into it. But before I break this down and share with you the escape plan, there's something about how this scoring system actually works that the banks are counting on you to miss. And once you see it, everything I'm about to tell you will make perfect sense. So here's what most people in the 620 to 680 range have in common. They're not irresponsible. They're not broke. They're not ignorant. They're close, and they know it. And that's almost the worst part, because being close and not crossing can be exhausting. You start to wonder if the line even moves. You start to wonder if you're missing something. The truth of the matter is, it kind of is rigged. But not in a way that means you can't beat it. It means you have to understand the actual rules of the game that you are playing. The rules they teach you publicly, that's not the full picture. Here's the problem with how most people approach getting above 681. They focus on the symptoms, late payments, high balances, and ignore the mechanics underneath. The system measures things you don't even see on your statement. Things like timing, patterns, mix, data trends over time. When you don't know these things, you end up working on the wrong problem and the score barely moves. Let me show you exactly what's happening. The 3 invisible traps most people are walking straight into. This is important. First, I want you to understand what's actually at stake, because most people don't connect the score to the costs. So below 580, they call you deep subprime. You get maximum rates, deposit requirements, and all kinds of denials. 580 to 619, they call it subprime. You're paying 2 to 3 times prime rates on every loan. 620 to 680, they call it near prime. You're close, but you still pay the risk tax. Every month you stay below 681, the system is compounding against you. I'm going to say that again. You are paying a tax every single month for having the wrong score, and the bank designed the tax. let that sit. So trap number 1, utilization timing gap. Here's the one that gets people the most. You pay your balance before the due date every month like clockwork, but your score still shows high utilization. Why? Because the credit card company reports your balance to the bureaus on your statement closing date. I teach this all the time, but it's time to adjust. They report your balance to the bureaus on your statement closing date, not your due date. So if your statement closes on the 15th and you pay on the 30th, they already reported the high balance. The system sees high utilization even though you paid it down, and you get penalized every single month. Same concept as the same dollar strategy. Same money, same person, different timing. Completely different results. Trap number 2, the collections anchor. You can have a perfect payment history and still be dragged into near prime because of one small unpaid collection. Sometimes this thing goes back 4 or 5 years ago. Collections act like an anchor, not all of them equally, and this is critical. Under FICO 10T and Vantage 4.0, paid medical collections carry significantly less weight, but an unpaid medical or non-medical collection from 3 years ago sitting right in the middle of your file, holding you down. Trap number 3, the on-time payment myth. On-time payments are not the ceiling, they are the floor. Once you're consistently on time, that 35% factor is maxed out. The algorithm stops caring. The remaining 65% of your score, utilization, age of accounts, credit mix, new inquiries, that's where the movement is. And most people are over-indexed on payment history and ignoring the other 65%. That's why the score stalls. Now that you see these traps, the fact that you have connected to the 3 traps, let me show you how to get out of them. Lever 1, utilization reset. This is the single fastest move you can make. And you don't need new money, you need new timing. Find your statement close date. Come on, get with this. Pay down to under 10% of your limit 5 to 7 days before that date. Not the due date. Come on, the close date. When the statement closes, your reported balance is close to zero. The bureau sees low utilization. And you know what? Your score responds by going up. Real math, going from 65% utilization to 10% can generate 40 to 60 points in a single 30-day billing cycle, and I am seeing it happen every single day. Same people, same habits, but their position different because of when they make that payment. Here's the pro move. Set a calendar reminder 7 days before each of your credit cards' statement close date, and then pay down under 10% before the close. Not before the due date, before the close. Lever 2, collections triage. Not all collections are created equal. Before you pay anything, triage first. There's some questions you've got to ask. Is this medical or non-medical? If it is paid or unpaid, how old is it? Those are the least of the questions. Medical collections under certain thresholds are now excluded from newer FICO models and Vantage 4.0. Paid medical collections carry almost no weight under Vantage 4.0. Non-medical, unpaid, recent collections, that's where you focus first. You dispute inaccuracies. Negotiate pay for delete if possible. And this is the thing that you really need to learn. There is a law called the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act, 15 USC 6802. It is a killer for collections because 88% of the people, debt collectors, trying to collect from you are violating your privacy rights according to that law. And if you learn how to use it appropriately, you can remove those from reporting. Prioritize by impact, not by size. Here's the pro move. Never pay a collection without checking the statute of limitations. Paying a time-barred debt can restart the clock. So you got to know before you ever consider to pay. But you should debt validate, understanding the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act, 15 USC 6802. 602. Lever 3, Authorized User Accelerator. This is the fastest way to borrow credibility when you don't have enough of your own. Someone with an established card adds you as an authorized user. Their history on that card gets reported to your credit file. You don't need to use the card. You don't even need the physical card. What you look for is someone with at least 5.5 years of history, utilization under 7%, and a perfect payment record. Here's the pro move. Legitimate authorized user trade line services exist if you don't have a trusted person. And if you need one of them, reach out. We've got a partnership. Research carefully, but the mechanism is real and it works. Trust me, we've got multiple clients using it effectively every week. Lever 4, credit mix fix. Credit scores don't just respond to effort, they respond to data patterns. If your entire file is revolving debt, which is credit cards, the algorithm notices and it's going to penalize you. Adding even a small installment loan shifts your credit mix factor. A credit builder loan, a shared secured loan from a credit union, low dollar, low payment, but the data signal is what's significant. So here's the pro move. Look into credit union shared secured loans or credit builder loans under $1,000. Your monthly payments will be between 20 to 30 bucks. The data signal, though, that it's going to send, that's what's going to matter the most. Now, let me just talk to my business owners. I want you to pay close attention right here because everything I just walked through, that applies to you. But you have an additional escape route that individual consumers don't have. Most business owners think they need to wait for their personal credit to hit 681 before they can access real funding. The banks want you to believe that as well, because if you believe it, you wait. And while you wait, you keep paying the risk tax. But here's the truth of the matter. The business credit system operates on a separate track from your personal FICO, and you can build on that track at the same time. Right now, even while you're working through the 4 levers on the personal side. The business credit parallel track. Business credit bureaus are critical for you to learn. Dun & Bradstreet is the first one you need to know. Then Experian Business, and lastly, Equifax Business. They don't pull your personal FICO. They build a separate profile based on your EIN. That's your business's tax identification. While your personal credit climbs from 641 to 681, 30, 60, or 90 days, your business credit is building at the same time. Net 30 vendors, business charge cards, supplier accounts. These are reporting to the business credit bureaus and build a profile that eventually stands on its own. This is important. While you're repairing personal credit, you don't have to wait on funding. Revenue-based financing looks at your cash flow, not your credit score. Business credit cards with EIN-only applications, some require no personal guarantee after a certain revenue threshold. Net 30 vendor accounts like Uline, Quill, Granger, BCC Supplies, they extend credit based on your business profile. You pay net 30, they report to your Dun & Bradstreet, and your business credit score starts building toward that 80 paydex you've got to get. Here's the pro move. Open up business checking account, get your DUNS number, and apply for 2 to 3 net 30 vendor accounts this week. Under 2 hours. That's what this is going to take. This is the starting line, and it doesn't touch your personal FICO at all. Now, here's the real play. Let me give you a real example. Say you're a business owner, been running your operation a few years, profitable, consistent revenue, but your personal score is sitting at 658. Banks are treating you like a risk. You can't get a business line you need to scale this business. Here's what the escape plan looks like for you. On the personal side, execute the utilization reset. Triage any collections. In 60 to 90 days, you're going to cross 681 easily. On the business side, at the same time, You've opened your Net 30 accounts, established your D&B profile, applied for an EIN-only business card. By the time your personal crosses 681, your business credit is already 3 months into building a profile of its own. Now you're just a better personal credit risk. You are a business entity, though, with its own credit identity. Same person, same business, but man, different positioning, and you watch. It's going to make all the difference. If you want a customized roadmap for both tracks, personal repair and business credit build, the link is in the description for business owners. Or if you don't own a business, it's in there to get you straight even in your credit area. So let's talk about this identity thermostat that I love to teach. Here's what nobody's telling you, and I'm going to tell you it over and over. And this is the part that's going to matter the most. Every tactic I just gave you, the utilization reset, the collections triage, the authorized user play, the credit mix fix, those are real and they actually work, but they only work if you execute them consistently. Listen, consistency requires something much deeper than a to-do list. I've watched people get the information, get the playbook, and then what? Nothing. Not because they're lazy, because somewhere underneath the credit problem is an identity problem. And listen, the guy you're listening to had this problem. Your score isn't just a number. It's a reflection of decisions you've been making based on an identity you've been running. A borrower identity, a near prime identity, an identity set to a certain temperature that keeps resetting you back there even when you try to change. I call that the identity thermostat. Your financial behavior has a set point, and no amount of tactical information moves that set point. Only an identity shift moves it. The people who cross 681 and stay there, they didn't just learn new credit habits. They started seeing themselves differently. From I'm trying to fix my credit to I am the kind of person who is fundable. That shift, that's the real escape plan. Your credit isn't broken. Your operating system is. And now you know how to upgrade it. So let me give you this 3-step action blueprint. Here are the 3 steps to start this week. Step 1, credit action, utilization reset. Find the statement close date on every revolving account you have. Set a calendar reminder 7 days before that date. Pay down to under 10% of the limit before the close, not the due date. The result, 20 to 60 points of movement in the first 30-day cycle. No new accounts, no new money, just new timing. And here's what this move teaches you. Precision, not just effort, is what the system rewards. Step 2, business application. Open the parallel track. Business owners, get your DUNS number. Open a dedicated business checking account. If you don't have one, apply for 2 Net 30 vendor accounts this week. In 90 days, you have the beginning of a business credit identity built while your personal credit is climbing. You stop seeing yourself as a person trying to fix a score. You start seeing yourself as a business entity building an asset. Step 3, identity shift. Upgrade the operating system. Physically write down what a 720 credit score version of you looks like. A 720 credit score. How they make decisions, how they speak about money, what they do differently. Identity precedes behavior. You don't build a 720 profile and then become that person. You become that person first, and the profile follows. Credit, business, life, all 3 in alignment. That's the CBL Wealth Blueprint. That's what makes the escape plan permanent. Now remember this, being below 681 is not a life sentence. It's a starting position. And now you know the escape routes the banks hoped you'd never find. Hit subscribe and like so the next person stuck below 681 can find this escape plan. Drop a comment. Tell me where your score sits today and which trap did you just realize you've been falling into. And if you want a customized escape plan built around your specific situation, the link in the description will take you to the CBL Wealth Blueprint. That's where we go deeper. Listen, I'm so excited to have had this opportunity to share this with you. I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Be blessed.